So hello guys, in this demonstration I am going to discuss and configure the firewall using the IP table concept. So if you have no idea about the firewall and IP tables before, so bear with me. I assure you that after the end of this video you have a better understanding of firewalls and IP tables as well. So let's dive into the IP table concept. So what is IP table? Iptable is a Linux kernel module or tool which is used to analyze or filter the network packets based on the rules that we are providing to the rules. Okay, so in this demonstration video, I am going to give you a brief idea about the concept or the firewall and the Iptable. So the next thing is different types of firewall configurations can be made using Iptable, such as packet filtering, stateful firewall, and stateless firewall. After, we need to understand what the packet actually looks like so that we can able to move to the next section of these videos. So after that we have to uh, analyze and explain a simple IP table rule, and after that we are going to configure a simple firewall configuration that is filtering the traffic based on the SSH connection only from, and only it can be used as a used to restrict the SSH connection only from the specific subnet, which is the VPN network. So if you have no idea about the firewalls and IP tables before, just bear with me. I assure you that you can be better idea after watching this video. Okay, let's dive into the concepts or the topics one by one. So what is firewall and the use of IP tables? So before going in deep dive into the concept, we have to make a good understanding of what the firewall in actual or real world situations is. So in simple terms, the firewall is a configuration software or hardware appliance which is used to control or manage the traffic throughout our network. For the sake of simplicity, we can assume it as a compound with a gate and gatekeeper and the security guard. And we are instructing the security guard with a simple instruction such as we need to access, we need to provide, or you have to allow the persons with only the blue shirts. So what the security guard does is he identify the persons with a blue shirt and allow the entry for the person with a blue shirt. So in this case, the malicious persons identifies that behavior and it will act as a genuine person or a authorized one. So it is a type of firewall. We can call it as a stateless firewall. So the only thing the guard care about is the shirt or the color of shirt or the instruction that we are providing. So when it comes to the election scene, something like that, so we need to restrict the people only a single time or one time or a limited number of times. In that cases, we put a security guard that is familiar in that area, so that he can be able to identify the person with a repeating number of uh, access or allowance or the entrance he tries to make. So this is a kind of stateful firewall. He need to identify the person and what is the status of the person. And the next comes under the list when we talk about IP table is a packet filtering firewall. So packet filtering firewall is a type of firewall which is only care about the packets headers. So header consists of IP destination and source, and the port destination and source, and what type of protocols that is using the packet and things like that. So before going further, we have to identify or analyze what the IP packet looks like. These are the layout for making a decision based on the packets. This is a segmentation header that is in the transportation layer, which is layer 4 in OSI, and here we can identify and filter the ports and sequence numbers as well. And the next comes to this is the packet, that is IP IP packets, that is comes under the OSI layer 3, that is networking. In this data header, we can identify and filter the traffic based on the IP address and destination address as well. So this is the IP packet diagram and the segmentation diagram for the sake of understanding yourself before going deep into the concept. So with this in mind, we are going to set up and configure a simple firewall rule that is restricting the SSH traffic from the source subnet. So let's get into the configuration part of this tutorial, and this is a practical side of this video demonstration of restricting the traffic from only a specific subnet to the SSH port. This is a kind of configuration I am going to do on my server 1 and server 2 as well. So you can see the on server 1 I have set up different commands for using Iptables, and now I am going to explain some of the concept of making the Iptables rules and commands. So first we need to specify the Iptables command, and after that we have to specify append or insert. In this time I am inserting in the first row. And after that we have to specify chain name, and for example we have commonly used chains such as input, output, and forward chains. That is the 3 different chains that we are using regularly, and there is also different types of chain such as post routing, pre-routing, and we can make our chain as well as a custom or custom chains as well. So after that we have to match a state, which is an extension that is provided by the Iptables, which is used to make a Iptable command or Iptable firewall as a stateful manner, as we said earlier in this video. So after that we have to specify the source subnet. In our case, the first subnet, which is private IP subnet, that is start with 10.136.0.0/16, and the destination must be the 10.136.0.5, which is the IP address of a first server. And after that we have to specify the destination port. For SSH we are using 22 port as default port is for SSH, and after we have to specify the target command, and after we have to specify we can accept or reject the traffic based on the left side's matching rules. So in this time I'm going to accept this rule, and you can see there is no such difference in these commands as well. Here and after that we can specify the policy. In Iptables by default the policy is set to accept, which means any traffic comes to the Iptables can allowed to input or allowed to go through the network by default. So in our case these are the only things we need to accept, and other than that we have to drop that packet. So that is the configuration we have to make on our server. So let's copy and paste our commands in the command line so that we can apply the concept, apply the rules. So after successful configuration of Iptables, we have Iptables with the input chain is like this. We can list the input chain in the server 1 using Iptables tag L command, and followed by input chain or chain name. So here you can see my default policy set to drop, and all the things. Other than that, we need an N43 port, as we said earlier, an HTTP and HTTPS port, and UDP. This is again for the VPN connection. And the only SSH is allowed from only these subnets. So let's try with our configuration. In my case, it is already set up, and so that I can let's try the SSH. So in this case, the destination IP is set to the this one, the IP subnet, and if we that is because we are already in the VPN network. And if I can do anything from here, and take some time. What if I can close the VPN connection? We'll see. Yes, exited the connection, and you can see there is no input and there is no connection for me. And let's try again with that. There is no connection. Yeah, this is the actual thing we need to set up in order to make our configuration of SSH only from the subnet that is restricted to the VPN subnet. After that, I have to set up the server 2 as well. On server 2, we have to make this configuration, or this is the rule we are going to apply on the server 2 in order to restrict the traffic only from the subnet or the private network. So you can able to see this is 10.136.0.6 network, and I set it as a destination IP, and it is only accessible from the private network, so that I can do like this. And after that, I have set the default policy of the input and set it to drop input and set it to drop. So this is the only two commands I have to put on the server 2 in order to make our configuration as we needed. So let's try that. In this VM, I have already set the two commands on Iptables. You can see that by using Iptables tag L and input chain. I have put the chain name and V for extra visibility or verbosity. You can see that the protocol I used is a TCP on any interface. In and out interface is any, and source you can use as any, because this is the internal port or the internal network, and this is a SSH port. And I can config. What if I try to make this as the SSH destination from yeah, I try that, and there is no connection. Even I set up after I set up a VPN connection for the client. And what if I try to change that to, you can see that it is prompting for password, and now I am not going to enter the password and for this time. Yeah, so after exiting the VPN connection, I lost this connection as well, and there is no internet network as well. So this is the configuration as a demonstration purpose, and we have discussed Iptables and how can we configure Iptables using we can configure the firewalls using Iptables and things like that. And I think this is video is kind of something lucky, and you, I think you are in a position like you have to know something about IP tables and firewall things. I hope you enjoy this video, and please give me a feedback about this video, and thank you.